Hi everyone, I hope you are having a splendid Saturday here in the Southern Hemisphere with me and a fantastic Friday in the Northern Hemisphere. So this morning I did an incredible breathing session with Miss Cassandra. So breathing sessions are typically done in person and they're very effective. But we did it over a Zoom call and it was still very powerful. So a breathing session is where you have a breathing coach facilitate the session. They have very specialized music that they play in the background, and they really guide you through breathing in a very specific way. So it's not just breathing. It's really breathing in as much as you can, holding, breathing out as much as you can, really fast breathing, like breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. There's different variations within the breathing sequence. And each sequence with the music in the background is designed to connect you with your subconscious. And it's also a means of breaking through anything. Now, each breathing session is different. Sometimes in a breathing session, your body will, feel like it's concrete and you'll feel paralyzed. Other sessions, you'll have complete control of your body. Hey, James. So some breathing sessions, you'll have an incredible emotional release, like you'll be crying during the session, and other breathing sessions, you're completely fine. Both breathing sessions, I have taken it easy for the rest of the day because it is so draining, because it does unblock a lot of emotions. So in my first breathing session with Cass, I was able to have a connection with my dad that I hadn't had for quite a while, and all of this stuff just came out. Today's session, my mind tried to get out of the session. My mind tried to, make me watch scenes of a movie. My mind tried to make me not be in the session. So I had to keep coming back and forcing my mind to inhale, exhale. I had to keep concentrating on my breath. And at the end of the session, Cass was like, so, what did you experience? How did you feel? And I'm like, my brain kept on trying to take me away. And she's like, oh, obviously you've got a lot of things on your mind that you're trying to, sort out and organize. And I'm like, yeah. Hey, Wendy. So breathing sessions, they're different for everyone. Most breathing sessions will go, a short session like we did today was half an hour. Most breathing sessions go for 45 minutes to an hour. My very first breathing session, I actually fell asleep. And I actually felt so bad for the instructor. I thought that I didn't do it right. But Cass said that, each breathing session, you're going to experience different things. So today's breathing session really was about me staying in the moment and staying focused and staying concentrated because, my mind, as I said, it kept on wanting to go out. But for the most part of the session, I was in my body and I really focused on sucking all the air in and then blowing it out. And we had 3 different tracks. Hey, Carrie. So we had 3 different tracks. So each track had its own breathing sequence to it. And so throughout the session, Cass, was watching me on the Zoom. So she was watching my chest raise and lower. So she was able to really guide me and keep me focused. And, listening to her breath, because she was doing really intentional breathing. So I could hear when she was really breathing in, when she was really breathing out. And she kept me focused in the moment. My favorite track is, it's an astronaut, and the astronaut is like about to like go out into space. And so I hear, I'm letting go. I can see out to the horizon, and then there's a big part of that track where he's just saying, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The first time I heard that track, I didn't hear the I'm letting go, and I didn't hear the looking out to the horizon. So each breathing session, you're going to be getting different things. You're going to hear different things in the track. You're going to hear the music more, or you're going to hear the person talking more. And Cass allows you to have that space where you're just focusing on your breathing, but she keeps guiding you through it. Now, if she was in a face-to-face session with you, she would definitely be, making sure that you're warm enough. She would make sure that you were staying focused. So it's a lot more fun when you're face-to-face, but Cass does incredible work on the Zoom calls. As I said, this was my second session with her. And the reason why I believe everyone should do a breathing session at least every 2 months is because it's going to shake all the cobwebs out of your body. It's going to shake all the cobwebs out of your brain. It's going to allow you to connect with your subconscious, and it's going to allow you to connect to universe and really help you to understand, where do you want to be 12 months from now? What do you want to have achieved in the next 12 months? Where do you want to be 3 years from now? What do you want to have achieved in the next 3 years? Where do you want to be 5 years from now? And where do you see yourself being in 5 years? So, Wendy, if I'll tag you on Cass's page, and you can book a breathing session with her. She's absolutely incredible. So, as I said, when you do a breathing session, Cass will tell you what you may or what you may not experience. So the first time I did a breathing session, as I said, I felt really guilty because the other girls... No, absolutely not, Wendy. Absolutely not. She's got people from all across the world that she connects with. So she's like me, can work in different time zones. So yeah, the first time I did a breathing session, all the other women were like, oh my gosh, my body went stiff. I couldn't move. Oh my gosh, like I was a blubbering mess. And I was like, nothing happened for me. Like I felt so bad. And then in my first session with Cass, my whole body was tingling. Like I had pins and needles over my whole body. Like there was electricity pumping through my body. My muscles were like contracting on their own. I was doing like a whole freaking ab workout in the breathing session. I was like, oh my gosh, my abs were like doing their whole thing on their own. And like my butt muscles were doing a workout. It was such a strange feeling that like my body was just electrified doing breathing. And as I said, my first session, I connected with my dad, and my dad's been gone for a really long time, and to be able to see my dad so clearly, to hear my dad's voice so clearly, and to hear my dad say to me, I'm so proud of you, baby. I'm so proud of you. I was just like, I was a mess after Cass, we finished our session and Cass was like, what did you see? What did you hear? And I was a blubbering mess. I'm like, oh my gosh, you brought so much out for me. And today's session, it was very much, hey Cass. So today's session, I was so excited because the session started with me on my belly and my cat was on my back. And, I had to flip onto my back. And, my cat was actually at my feet. So I could actually feel his purring through my body when I was doing the breathing session. And there was another lovely lady who was doing the breathing session as well. And we actually experienced the same thing, that our mind was trying to leave the session and we kept on yanking our brain back into the session. So it was really interesting that we both, desperately wanted to be in the session and our brain's like, no, I want to be somewhere else. And it's like, no, my heart wants to be in this session. Like, join the party. So for me, Cass, what I love about the breathing sessions, as I started at the start of this, is that you are such an incredible facilitator, in that, you watch our breathing and the music that you use, and the words that are in the songs that you use, and how you really guide us is so powerful and so effective. I suggested, once every 2 months is a good amount of time to do a breathing session. But as the expert, Cass, how regularly can someone do a breathing session? Is there, could they do it once a month, or, is once every 2 months effective? So for me, it was such an incredible experience doing the breathing session, keeping my eyes closed and really connecting with my body. That was the most amazing thing, is really connecting and really allowing myself to connect to universe and really forcing my mind to be in the moment, because it can be so easy for us to jump into different areas, and it can be so easy for us to start this task and then jump onto that task and jump onto that task, and before you know it, you've started 20,000 things and you've finished nothing. So for me, this year has all been about starting something and finishing something. So for me, it was so important that I did the breathing session. So daily breathing techniques are perfect. Full sessions would be fortnightly or when needed. I'll just see the rest of your message. Yeah, and that's what I said, Cass. Each session is completely different. Like, the first session that we did together, Cass, I was a blubbering mess. Like, you just unlocked so much for me. So that is the power, and that's the beauty of a breathing session, is that depending on what's happening in your life at that point when you're doing the breathing session, depending on, what you ate the day before, how hydrated you are, how dehydrated you are, what time of the month, there's so many different things that can impact what happens during your breathing session. But having done I've actually done 3 breathing sessions with you, Cass. Each one has been different, but I've gotten incredible gifts from each of those sessions. So I just wanted to share with you my breathing session today and the power and the beauty of breathing sessions, and what a difference they can make. So Cass recommended that we practice breathing in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, and breathing out for a count of 4. And when I get comfortable with that on a daily basis, I'm then going to try and work up to breathing in for 5 counts, holding for 5 counts, breathing out for 5 counts, and then work up to breathing in for 6 counts, holding for 6 counts, and breathing out for 6 counts. But I'm going to start with just the 4 breaths because we did 5 breaths today in the session and my body was like, whoo. So I'm going to start with the 4. So I want to thank you so much for joining me in tonight's session. Make sure that you check out Cass and her breathing sessions. I'll see if I can put some information on my page so that you can connect with Cass and have your own breathing session because it is amazing. And I really look forward to checking in with you tomorrow night for our next session. As I say, I don't pre-plan the next day's session. I tap into universe and what universe needs you to hear using me. So I really look forward to tuning in tomorrow night and seeing what universe wants to share with you. Thank you so much for allowing me to move the session to 8 p.m. tonight. I always really appreciate you joining me of an evening or joining me of a morning. I do value and appreciate your time greatly. So have a splendid Saturday night for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere with me. Have a fantastic Friday for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere. Oh, thank you so much, Cass. So Cass has sent me a referral link, so I'll make sure that I post that up for you so that you can get in contact with Cass and enjoy your very own breathing session. So as always, be safe, be well, much love.